Hey, it's your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. Zooming in on a kind of interesting question that was proposed to me by a viewer, and that was to look into the role that sex has for a female narcissist, covert narcissist, and essentially, is it meaningful to them? Do their sexual encounters mean anything to them? And I would like to offer this insight from my experience and vast study with this population. I have studied psychology in college, as well as into a master's degree level, and as well as education, as well as English. So my foundation is really kind of focused in studying in the field of psychology, and particularly this field in specific and in general. For myself, just having such experience with this population in working through a number of these relationship dynamics, and really a witness to how destructive this can really be in people's lives, and really have a ripple effect into so many other areas of life. So impacting communities, businesses. Really, it's quite a far spread destruction that can occur from narcissistic and psychopathic individuals. So I would like to address this for you to help you better understand. Because if we are dealing with a true narcissist, someone who has a heightened and inflated self-importance, and they are lacking empathy. So knowing these two qualities, knowing these to be the case, and knowing them to be pathological. Excuse me while I position this. I've got my glove on here to muffle these sounds. But realize that this, in essence, in the covert narcissist, their manipulation is on such a pathological level that it is really there's going to be a winner and a loser in the situation. And of course, in all relationships, sometimes there's one-night stands, there's affairs, there's short and long-term relationships. However, we're talking really, what does this mean to a covert narcissist? And if we look at the narcissist, the covert narcissist personality dynamic, being all about them without any empathy, so they're going to be manipulating out others, and sex is absolutely positively one of their favorite tactics and tools. The covert narcissist, not really outwardly so as much as the overt narcissist, who will utilize charm and their bravado and their machismo to really sort of pull one over on people and seduce and entice people to become into relationships or as a source of supply for them, essentially viewing them as conquests, and really not and devoid of their emotions. So realize that oftentimes that is the case even with the covert narcissist. But really what ends up, I find happening oftentimes with a narcissist relationship dynamic, is that oftentimes the covert narcissist is wanting to be the superior one. In other words, the one who's performing better than the spouse. There's a good, better, and best scenario. And the covert narcissist will oftentimes, keep the sex is, in essence, a source of supply for them, and essentially as an outlet. And then as an outlet for their aggression or their sexual energy, use that essentially as an outlet for them to pursue other self-absorbed situations. So it can oftentimes in the covert narcissist serve as an outlet for, then once they fulfill that, it's going to free them up to pursue their other selfish, drives. So and where it becomes a problem is when the other person is not involved in levels of the relationship dynamic that they should be. In other words, they get a very small slice of that relationship, and really all that person is. Whereas in a healthy relationship, there's a little bit more integration between the couple. And, for example, the psychopath, though, on a really advanced level, who's really lacking a conscience. I mean, really, and tremendous problem with impulse control and a very explosive sexual side. I mean, will really have an exaggerated sex life. I mean, it really can overtake their life, especially when it comes to conquering people. They will sexually abuse. They will, manipulate others in the workplace with their sexuality. They'll try to dominate and control others through their sexual side, and make people very uncomfortable. So that violation, in essence, is causing them to be treated as an object and not acknowledged as a person. And so the minute one is objectified, it's very difficult for that objectified person to present with any feelings, emotions, or values of their own, because they're objectified. And so once they've gotten them in that role of being objectified, they are not able to stand up for themselves. In fact, oftentimes in narcissistic and psychopathic relationships, there is quite a degree of that objectification of their sexual partner, so much so that they, in that objectification, in other words, using them or as supply for only very specific needs or roles, that that person being objectified doesn't feel as comfortable voicing out their opinions, emotions, really where they stand, and being able to hold their ground, because it's a violation of somebody to treat them only as a sex object and use them. But once, especially those who have fallen prey to an overt narcissist who is outwardly charming, they feel like that's the eye candy, if you will. So, they will then, in that objectified relationship, not, by virtue of it, you're under their thumb. And so they can't really speak up. They feel that they don't have a right, they don't have a place to speak up. And that's very destructive, because someone really violates their own internal self. They're really working against themselves in those sort of relationships. And those do happen to people, especially when they're younger and they don't realize what healthy relationship dynamics are. And in the psychopathic relationship, the sex absolutely means nothing to the psychopath. They are asexual. They use it purely as a conquering activity. So if they can overpower someone sexually, that is absolutely positively game over for them, because they are able to win out and control that person, and they end up intoxicating them, brainwashing and gaslighting in a very profound way, especially in the sexual relationship with a psychopath. The other person who's involved with a psychopath is absolutely under their power and control. They have an incredible way of overtaking people and causing them to do and behave in ways that are counterproductive and counterintuitive to them, where they literally, have them overtaken chemically. And especially with the brainwashing in the mind, that person really loses a lot of control over their life and is so addicted and so overpowered by this person that, oftentimes their lives can be destroyed in a number of ways, and until they really get help. It's very difficult for them to be cleansed of their system from this sort of very severe and profound brainwashing and gaslighting. So they do it strictly as a power move, power supply, and essentially will utilize this to knock people off of their game professionally. So that's how they take out, people in especially their work environment, or they will overpower them to such an extent that they're rendered, incapable of performing their job. I mean, they're so brainwashed. They really have lost touch with their senses. So it's a very severe and very horrible thing, because the psychopath in their sexual outlets really only seek to destroy others. So I hope this answer helps you put that into perspective. And appreciate your inquiry. Anytime you have a question, want me to develop a video or content for you, please let me know and email me at peaceandharmonynow@gmail.com, and we can discuss some of the dynamics that you see going on and bring it to better light for you. Peace and harmony with you here today. I hope these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.